Welcome to our QR video sequence. I am the owner here and one of the lead developers of this product. Hopefully we're going to teach you a little bit about building with a woody log building system. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're going to learn something about building your dream log cabin. Okay, we're still on phase 2, putting the roof overlay on. The guys are happy we're doing it here because outside it's rainy and just terrible. So we're in our plant here. This top piece that was put on is called our fly rafter. Okay, that's our fly rafter. This is our subfascia part of the fly rafter. Now if you'll see, they'll nail that in. We've held this fascia back that 1 9/16, so the rafter flushes out with the knotty pine. So they'll go ahead and nail that in. We already have nailers in place by virtue of what you've done. So now we have the fly rafter on and the subfascia fly rafter. We're flushed out on the end here. Now you can see how thick we are here, okay? The reason we are so thick there is that's our insulation value. That's 13 inches from here to the top here. Okay, we've done that, and that gives us the insulation value that we're looking for on our cabin. What they're doing now is installing the 2x6 that makes up the fascia, subfascia, and now by doing it in the sequence we did, it's very fast. Again, your phase 2 kit, all of this lumber will come marked for you. Over the top of this is going to go our fascia system. And right now what they're doing, this is a good trick right here, and I'm glad they're showing it to us. They're just nailing a couple blocks on here. And what this is going to do is they're going to put a sheet of OSB up here. Use this, it becomes our anchoring point for the OSB. In other words, George will hand them a sheet of OSB. Again, this is where, you know, the young guys, the strong guys really earn their keep here, lifting this material around. Again, I mentioned that our buildings are approximately 10 times heavier than a normal construction building. A sheet of OSB like this weighs about 45 to 50 pounds. We send along 1/2 inch OSB. Okay, 1/2 inch, the code will allow us to span 24 inches on center. There is marking. So if you see that, that's flushed up on the outside. The guy's got it all set. They're going to put a couple of tacks in there. And that roof now section, once they get the rest of it plywooded, is ready for felt paper and roofing. Now in phase 2, we can supply that for you if you'd like. Typically speaking, our normal pricing includes asphalt roofing. A lot of people opt for metal, but a tip to you would be don't buy that roofing material from us. Buy it from a local roofer. Therefore, his guarantees when he installs it, should something leak or should something blow off, it's going to be his responsibility, versus if you take our material, even though I'd love to sell it to you, and have somebody else install it, you know, you might get in a warranty issue or whatever. So if you have local roofers, if you have roofers that are familiar with steel and or asphalt, they do it every day, hire them to do it. You'll be much further ahead. When we put this OSB up, code may require you to put a clip in here, a plywood clip. People think this clip is for stabilizing between the joists, and it is to a degree, but I learned something the other day. This clip actually has to be put in for code whether you're going 24 on center or 16 on center, because this spaces the OSB. OSB or plywood cannot be laid tight. You have to have spacing in there, actually end to end and side to side. So the clip must be used whether it's 16 or 24. Did you know that, Josh? Josh knew that. I just learned it. We didn't worry about that before, but the plywood manufacturers and your inspector may know that. So anyway, use this clip every time. Alfred will put some clips in there. What we do is a little trick is to open them up a little bit, kind of pinch it shut, let it open up. It helps get that next sheet in. And those go about mid-span. So we'll put another sheet in, and then we'll get on to the next phase. Now, as you look at this, you're going to see vents up there. Those are styrofoam vent chutes. I talked earlier about separating the insulation from the roof deck. We don't want those touching each other. Therefore, we put that styrofoam vent chute in there. Very inexpensive deal, but it keeps that separated so again the air can go up and get above the insulation and vent the roof. So that's the vent chutes. George is going to bring another sheet of plywood. Actually, OSB. To be honest with you, I was not a believer in OSB when it first came out. Now I am. The reality is this swells up less than plywood. When you use plywood, for some reason it tends to, so there's a lot of schools of thought, but structurally and everything, this stuff is just fine. The other kind of nice thing about it, if you lay it with the line pattern up, there's lines on those, the line pattern will give you where you nail, okay? There is codes on nailing plywood off. And last I looked is at the joint, 6 inches on center. In other words, a nail every 6 inches. And in the field, every 8 inches. Is that right, Josh? I think that's right. Because what happens is that plywood, we're building a roof diaphragm here again. Roof diaphragm, another technical term. You know, forget it after you're done with this cabin, but it's a technical term. A roof diaphragm, we got to keep it rigid. Part of that roof diaphragm keeps our building square. So that's why there's nailing patterns and so many nails, and the manufacturers tell us how to do that. So Al's going to put a couple nails in there. Typically what we will do is get all the roof put on, all the decking, just get it stapled down, then go back and nail it off. That's typically how we do it, much faster. So he's just going to tack that for location. We're showing you a demonstration. This building then, if it was insulated the whole way, we'd continue this for our R38. We are going to use the other portion of this building to show you 2 other methods of installing soffit, fascia, and insulating. Earlier I told you you can do this 3 ways. An R38 all year long kind of building, permanent residence. R10, which would be maybe a hunting cabin or something that you're not using in the dead of winter when it's 30 below. Don't pay for it, don't do it if you don't need to. And then thirdly, if this room were in your backyard, a seasonal man cave screen room, we don't insulate it at all. We nail a roofing right on top of our deck. Instructions will show you when we design the building. If you're looking to save money, let's talk about those things. Because again, why spend it if you don't need to spend it? Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've been entertained a little bit. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the woody log building system. The reality is anybody can do it. We've given you a little bit of a helping hand through our QR series and our initiative. If you have any further questions, contact us at the information listed.